Let's welcome in our quarterbacks. We got Brady Quinn with me here on set. Danny Kanell joining us from his home. Let's dive into the games. We got Oregon at Ohio State. Ohio State favored in this one by 14.5. The over under 63 and a hook. Brady, you actually got to be there this past weekend to watch Ohio State in person. So how do you feel about this game?
Rowdy environment was a ton of fun. I'm sure Ohio State's going to be excited about getting back home in Columbus with 100,000 plus there to watch this big matchup. But I've got some major concerns. And when you looked at how well Minnesota was able to run the football versus that Ohio State defense with Mohamed Ibrahim, even though he's now out for the year, you should be concerned then seeing Oregon come in that also has two very capable running backs in Travis Dye and C.J. Verdell who can tote the rock, but also their quarterback, Anthony Brown, who was announced the start of this season. He's athletic. You got to factor him into the conversation, which makes things that much more difficult to stop. And mind you, Kerry Combs, the defensive coordinator, this has been an ongoing issue for a couple years at Ohio State, not making adjustments throughout the game. They lined up in a lot of post-high, man-to-man, trying to load up that box to stop the run versus Minnesota. Still didn't work. So what will be his changeup? What will be the adjustments throughout the course of the game? I don't know, but Ohio State's defense has struggled with that. So for that reason, I think Oregon can keep this one close, at least within the 14.5 points. Because, Danny, I'll tell you this much. I was a sucker for it, and I lost out on it last week with Minnesota. I thought the Buckeyes could cover. They didn't in most books. That ended up being a push. So I'm not going with them here. I'm going with the road team, Oregon, being able to keep this one within the 14.5.
Yeah, this one's tricky. It really is one of those tough games. I mean, it was 10.5 not that long ago. And then with the news of Kayvon Thibodeau possibly might not play, then all of a sudden it jumps up huge to Ohio State. I'm going to follow the money on this one. I'm going to lay the points with the Buckeyes. I thought last week played out perfectly for Ryan Day and for C.J. Stroud in particular, who had a rough go of it in the first half, so much so that all these keyboard coaches sitting at home were like, get him out of there, go to Quinn Ewers, who wasn't even at the game. That shows you how smart people are sitting on their couch. But I thought the way he was able to respond to that adversity, to step up in the second half, was massive in a road environment. Now they come at home. They come back home in the comfy confines of the shoe. Now it's Oregon's turn. They got to go on the road. For the first time, some of these guys, Anthony Brown, remember last year wasn't playing in front of a lot of crowds. Before that, he played at BC. He has not seen an environment like this one. I also think Ohio State will be able to sell out more towards the run and say, all right, because Tanner Morgan, veteran quarterback who's shown a capability of throwing 30-plus touchdowns in a year, Anthony Brown, we haven't seen it yet from him. So I think Ohio State can sell out a little bit more to shut down the run. And with that being said, I think they'll have more impact on that. I did not take the over, but I would say that's the area we agree on. I think Ohio State's going to get 40-plus easy. And if it's around the number, you get 24, something around there from Oregon, you'll push that over easy. So I'm going to take the Ohio State, lay the points, but I like the over just the same as you do.
I did hear from a birdie that Oregon's very optimistic Kayvon Thibodeau will play in this game. And that's obviously a huge game, too, just for the matchup versus an offensive line at Ohio State that they think is the best they've had in a decade. So even for talent and scout evaluators, I think he understands how important this is. But it sounds like he's going to be able to go. It's still early in the week. You never know what happens come game time. But I do think he's going to try to give it a go.
Which is great because up until this point, he was day-to-day. All right. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.